Joining us now in the Arutz Sheva studio in Jerusalem is Nadia Matar and Yehudit Katzover, founders of the Sovereignty Movement. Shalom.
Shalom, shalom Yoni.
So you are going out in a big protest with many organizations against the reopening of the consulate of the United States of America for the residents of the Palestinian Authority, the Palestinian residents in the land of Israel. First of all, tell us about the protest. Why are you against it?
We're starting tomorrow. When you say big, first of all, it's big because there's already 20 movements who are joining. We're starting with a vigil tomorrow. It is going to be crescendo every week and bigger and bigger. Tomorrow we're starting with a vigil at 5 o'clock at Rehov Agron, Grand Street in Jerusalem, to protest indeed the talks about the reopening of the consulate, the American consulate in Agron for the Palestinians. And we have to ask here a few questions. What is going on here? There is an embassy. We know that there is an embassy in Jerusalem. So why all of a sudden does President Biden say that he needs to open a consulate if there is already an embassy? Number two, why was it a promise in his election campaign to open for the Palestinians a consulate? And the third thing we have to ask, how come that he says that he's going to do it despite the opposition here in Israel, which thank God there is an opposition from wall to wall. The government is saying that they're opposing it, of course the majority of the Jewish people. And then we finally understood, wait a minute, there is a process here by the American administration basically to divide Jerusalem, to give a hold to the Palestinians in Jerusalem, i.e. to erase what President Trump has done, to put new facts on the ground, i.e. to promote the division of Jerusalem, i.e. to promote the creation of a Palestinian state. This is, if God forbid this happens, this is the first domino in what is going to lead, God forbid, to the division of Jerusalem and to the creation of a Palestinian state, which of course we could not stay at home and say, maybe it's not going to happen. We have to shout and we have to come out and tell the American administration, stop. You have to respect, you're saying that we are friends. Friends do not trample the sovereignty of Israel. There is a law in Israel called the Jerusalem Basic Law of 1980 that clearly states that united, undivided Jerusalem is the capital of Israel. How dare you go against the will of the majority of the Jewish people? How dare you go against all the Israeli governments?
And when you hear exactly the government, when you hear Prime Minister Bennett and Foreign Minister Lapid actually really declared to the President Biden and to Secretary of State Blinken that Israel opposes, that's not enough? You're afraid that America will do despite that?
This is going to help the Israeli government to tell the Americans, look, the people are in the streets.
So the protest is not against the government at this point?
The protest is in favor of Jerusalem, united Jerusalem, in favor of all the governments of Israel, including this one, who are saying, we are not agreeing to this, and don't dare trample our sovereignty. Don't dare tell us that you are friends and demanding that we should commit suicide because the creation of a Palestinian state, the division of Jerusalem, is committing suicide. And let's face it, the American people, the American administration, the American people are with us, but the American administration has done quite a few mistakes already. We're not going to be Afghanistan. In Afghanistan, they did what they did, and we're going. One of the slogans tomorrow is, this is not Afghanistan. Don't touch our Jerusalem. We know that you made many mistakes. We know that you made many mistakes in the Middle East. We're not going to let you make mistakes and playing with our survival.
So here we're talking about a protest tomorrow in Jerusalem, but how will you actually bring that message closer to Washington?
First of all, I want to mention that in addition to the many Israeli organizations, we also have the ZOA of Mort Klein and Americans for a Safe Israel, and we have Rabbi Pesach Lerner with the CCJH and Israel Allies Foundation and Canadian for Israel's Legal Rights and others who are joining, of course, the many Israeli organizations. This is something that unites the Jewish people. You know what? Like during the time of the Roman emperors who tried to do things with Jerusalem, the people came out. So tomorrow there's not going to be any politicians on purpose, because to show that the people are coming out in a vigil and will grow up crescendos. And how we're going to pass that on to the American administration, we know that they already heard about.
Nadia Matar, Yehudit Katzover, Sovereignty Movement. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Tomorrow, 5 p.m., Rehov Agron in Jerusalem.